The older I get, the more I've grown to understand the importance of family. I think part of the reason why it's taken me some time to come to that conclusion is because my family isn't all that close. My parents are both from Long Island, Valerie from Massapequa, Andy from Hicksville. We all moved upstate when I was a baby. My mom is the oldest of 5 sisters. There's Gina in Bel Air, Franny in Massapequa, Jackie in Morris, and Michelle in Hicksville. My grandmother used to live in Massapequa, but after my grandfather passed away, she moved back to Cunningham, Pennsylvania. Currently, though, she's in an old folks home in Oneonta. My dad is the youngest of 3 brothers. There's Gary, somewhere in Maryland, and Glenn, who's no longer with us, but he used to live in Boston. Both of his parents are still alive and well in Newport Richey, Florida. This is Rachel, my sister. Rachel and I have seen everyone on my mom's side pretty regularly throughout our childhood, and much more now that we're older. But as for our dad's side, well, it's been pretty non-existent.
You like talking a little?
I'm all right.
I mean about tonight and everything.
So Rachel had the bright idea to change that. Over the Thanksgiving holiday, Rachel came up with a proposal. Instead of spending our money buying each other Christmas presents this year, why don't we just pool our resources and go see our family? And where better to start than by visiting Harry and Gertrude down in Newport Richey, USA. We figured the cheapest way to go on such short notice would be to rent a car. We also figured it would be a great bonding experience. So we booked a rental, recruited our dad, packed our shit, and on December 26th, we drove to Florida.
Say, it seems like you alienated me by that story about your music.
It started with snow. Before we could even pull out of the driveway, we were already set back. 10 inches fell in 10 hours, and once we got on the road to head for our rental, the driving was slow. It's 8:15, and we're starting our trip through this shit.
You couldn't stand second best, so you chose to be the worst. So listen closely to your enemies. They know what's best for you. They'll find a place for you.
There she was, the Blue Meanie. And in our roughly 2,500-mile relationship, it's safe to say, a meanie she was. We are just leaving Binghamton, about 3 hours behind schedule. Not really on a schedule though. First major city is Scranton, Pennsylvania. So, driving Pennsylvania is never fun because it's just so damn big. But as soon as the snow started to clear up and the sun started to dominate, it really was hard to complain.
They all call me Jim Mo, just because they say you don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind. You don't pull a mask off an old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. I don't do that. But out of South Alabama come a country boy, said looking for a man named Jim. I am a bull shooting boy, my name is Willie McCoy, but down home they call me Slim. Yeah, I'm looking for the king of 42nd Street. He drive on a drop top Cadillac. Last week he took all my money, and it may sound funny, but I come to get my money back.
We're just getting into Washington, D.C. We're starting to hit some traffic. It's 3:47, so probably some sort of rush hour traffic. We got about 15 hours to go if we go straight through, but we're going to stop before that. Currently stuck in some major traffic, so we're on US 1 instead of I-95, and we're not going to make it to Jacksonville tonight. where are we, Dad?
I don't know, but
We're in Virginia, and we're at a rest stop. We're switching drivers, and the new plan is we're going to go right to Newport Richey tonight, drive through the night, and sleep in a little bit tomorrow before we get there. We are currently in Fayetteville, South Carolina. No, we're in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We have to go through South Carolina, Georgia, and then Florida still. We're trying to get to Newport Richey tonight, going straight through. Looks like we'll be there at 8 a.m.
This son, rolling with this one and that one, pulling out gas for what? But it was just a dream for the team who was a friend.
This is not Newport Richey. Recharged to 75, hastily showered, and full of nasty breakfast, we threw Rachel in the driver's seat and turned our Mini toward Cuba.
Каждое утро моделирую судно. Для меня это трудно, так же, как искать друга. Или проще сказать, искать в воде мутной то, что было когда-то. Нужно кому-то, пахнет стеклом, смолы эпоксидовой.
The change of scenery wasn't too shocking, even though just 24 hours prior there was nearly a foot of snow and a 40-degree temperature difference. It wasn't until we hit Florida that I really felt we were seeing what America was really about.
I'm lying on my back, I'm trying to take a nap. The sun is beating warm on my face, I'm sweaty and feet all out of place. It's a symbol of such a disgrace. Oh, if you can't tell, I'm having a spell.
We made it to Florida. We're in Jacksonville. We got a few hours to go until we get to Newport Richey. We hit Florida with entirely new vigor. We could taste the finish line. And with only 3 hours to go, we figured we'd even get a little time to stretch our gams before our 6 o'clock dinner reservations. Little did we know, even the thick Florida air knew how to be a cold bitch.
Can you see her? If you see her, will you see her for me? Can you see her? If you see her, will you see her for me?
Weary, impatient, and 12 hours late, we've made it. In hindsight, I can't say that driving was the best idea. When all was said and done, we accumulated 8 hours just getting stuck in traffic. The snowstorm in New York didn't help. Since we were supposed to leave my dad's house at 6 o'clock to get to the rental place when it opened at 7:30, we started off 2 hours behind. And because of that snow, the 45-minute ride to Binghamton took an hour and a half, and we didn't get on the road with the rental until 10 o'clock. This caused us to hit rush hour traffic in DC, and the rest piled on from there. We got so backed up, in fact, that by the time we got to our grandparents' house, we could only stay for dinner, sleep, and breakfast the next day before hitting the road again for home. My dad and I joked that the drive was an exercise in stupidity. We basically took a 4-day drive with a few stops for meals, sleep, and only an extremely short visit with family. The whole point of the trip was to catch up with our distant relatives that we hadn't seen in years. What we got instead was a 4-day-long bottle episode of our very own personal TV show.
she called. He yelled Cartwright. I missed it.
Who's Cartwright?
I'm Cartwright.
You're not Cartwright.
Of course I'm not Cartwright!
And while our intention was to close the distance that existed in our detached family tree, what we really got instead was a new closeness to those that were right under our noses in the first place. As I said earlier, the older I get, the more I've grown to understand the importance of family. And even simpler than that, the older I get, the more I've grown. Grown apart from some people, grown together with others, grown tired of old ideals, and grown into new dreams. But no matter what grows new with time, or grows old in age, it's family that always stays the same. It's family that's truly important. I've lived in Syracuse by myself for the past 4 years. My dad's still in Norwich, but since returning from the trip, Rachel's moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. See, families move away and children build lives of their own, but sometimes everyone's schedules can line up perfectly for a 4-day endurance test in a bumpy, cramped car. And as much of a literal pain in the ass that drive was, I can't say I'd have changed one thing. Well, maybe I would have stopped for fireworks.